Okay, let's grab a seat. Let's get started. We want to make some powerful films and advocate for change in the world around homelessness. Real Youth is basically to have young people explore their roles as leaders in the world while producing films about important issues. And this is our first time doing an intergenerational program focused around homelessness.
Unplugged. I'm going to plug it over.
Daniel, have you watched Adventure Time?
My name is Kendall, and at various times in my life, I have been a homeless person.
You want him more to the side still?
Yeah. When I first met him, I just had a conversation like he was an old friend, and he was just telling me about his experiences. It was like he was imparting knowledge upon me.
Get in close, get a meeting close.
See, I thought I had a thought of different things I could say, but having to sleep outside, I would climb up on fire escapes, find some little cubby hole somewhere to hide away, somewhere where the rain wasn't going to fall on me. I had pneumonia. The nurse telling me, you know what your problem is, you need to get yourself off the street. Telling me like I didn't want to get off the street. I did, I just didn't know how.
Action, guys. Okay, so I feel like we could have him walking as if he was heading to the park.
There's a driveway I could walk on behind the building.
He told me that he has been on and off of the streets since about 1982. A few years ago, I actually lost my home. My family and I lost our home, and we ended up staying at a friend's house, and so it was difficult because you don't have anything, and so I know a bit about what that's like, and so I wanted to understand more how someone who had it worse than I did, how they feel. My worst fears is that one day I might die outside in an alley or somewhere.
To start. 3, 2, 1, go.
After the incident with my wife and my stepson and my in-laws, the deaths of them in 10 months, I went through a drinking problem. So I went to AA meetings prior to going to rehab and found out that actually I wasn't an alcoholic. I was just trying to drown the memory of everything.
So start looking down there and then turn to the camera and look at the camera and smile. When Jack brought us to the place where he sleeps, it's fenced in an area beside a park where it's not very accessible to others, and there's trains passing by all the time.
I've been coming here for 3 years. I sleep here and that's about all I do.
And just to know that he has to go through that experience every single day, it's sad.
All right, I'm ready. You ready? Action. All right. All right. Good job, Jack.
Last year, our landlord was hiking the rent up a bunch of numerous times throughout the year. Then it came to the point where we couldn't handle it. So then my family, we moved out of the house we were renting, and we moved into, with my uncle and my aunt. I felt very sad. I didn't really want to share it, but it really made me connected to them.
See the pose. Lovely, lovely. Pick it up, pick it up. Yeah. Next one. Oh, Glenda, she's a gem. She's like the sweetest woman you'd ever meet. She just loves to knit. She's very quirky. She's very cheerful. She'll always throw in a joke when you least expect it. Unfortunately, she hasn't been having, and if you can just look in the mirror, the best situations when it comes to finding a home. She finally got out of living in her van for a year to living in her home now, a basement apartment without heat, without hot water, without light. And just visiting there, just feel the cold seeping through my clothes.
This is the time when you can look at the camera.
Oh, I see. Which one? There, the light, or over
This
there?
camera right in the middle, right over here.
When I first came to Canada, I think a lot of people are under this impression that, oh, it's like first world country or like a developed country, so there's no situation over here, but that's not the case. The first interview that we did with Glenda was in the van, because she lived in the van for like almost a year and a half.
When I came here to Brampton, and that my son was on his own, and there was just me, but to find a place was hard, and it's still hard.
When I watched the footage on the first night, I was really touched because I wasn't there for the filming. We teach the youth, we give them the skills, and then they go off and make these films, and you don't really know what's happening. But I was really touched by how open most of the seniors were about their story. And I knew the films were going to be really powerful.
So prior to coming into this program, I had no experience working with cameras or filmmaking or anything like that. And now I feel like I might have hidden talent. I might be the next Christopher Nolan. You never know. So.
Yeah, I can hear it.
You can hear it?
Yeah. The biggest takeaway would be the whole entire experience. You can never judge a book by its cover. You can see someone on the street and you will never know their story until you either experienced it or if you asked them what it was specifically.
Yeah, perfect. When I asked Jack, what message do you want to get out of this film, he told me that he just really wants to spread awareness about the situation. He told me that 85% of homeless people, it's not their fault that they're homeless.
So I just want to finish by going over some of the Filmmaking 101 stuff that we talked about already. Ultimately, I hope that this project shifts the conversation on homelessness. Homelessness is at a crisis level in Canada, and it's something that we can solve. It's something that we can end. It's just a matter of having the political will to do it.